everybody, welcome back to another midweek video from Breezy Organization. Today we're going to do the hot topic, especially with Christmas right around the corner and the new year. I figured this would be a much needed topic to discuss, and that is sizing planners, what size to buy, which iPad works best, will this work on my phone, and all of those questions. So that's what we're going to get into today. So I figured we'd just have a little bit of fun looking through of what they look like on the different iPads and which size and stuff that you may need. Now for the demonstration today, I will try to show my phone here in just a little bit of what the planners look like on my phone, but I'm actually use that to record. So I'm using it to record right now. But what we're going to be talking about is the iPad mini. And then we are going to be discussing the iPad Pro. This is the 11-inch. So I think that this is going to be very comparable to the classic iPad size. I didn't look up the dimensions, but I'm pretty sure that they're really close in size. So this is going to be more like that classic size, but this is the smaller iPad Pro 11-inch, and then the iPad Pro 12.9-inch. So we're going to be discussing all these different sizes and how our planners work on each one. So let's get started. Let's start off with the iPad Pro. This is one that I have used for several years now. It is the 12.9. This is my workhorse. I do the majority of my work on this thing, and it is a beast. I can edit videos. It's got thousands and thousands of photos and videos. Of course, some of that is on iCloud as well. It holds all of my stickers. I have a lot of the Breezy O products on here, which we have over 400 products that you can choose from. Lots and lots of stuff. And I do not restart this very often, and it works really, really well. The more you put on any page, it's going to take longer to load. So I haven't loaded my sticker thing yet this morning, and you can see that it took a few seconds to load because I've got all of these stickers on one page. This is actually over the recommended amount because just in this little block alone, I have 9 stickers, images that it has to load. So sometimes it may take a little bit longer for it to load. Now, if I click on October, one that I have already loaded some stuff into, but it's not as many stickers, it's not going to take it near as long to load. You can see that it loaded in about half the time that it did for my first page, and actually it has a lot more stickers on here than what I thought because it has about 2 months worth of October last year and this year. So this is the iPad Pro. The Pros are going to run faster than the Classic and the Mini. I do not know much about the Air. I do not have an iPad Air, but I would compare the specs whenever you're looking at these. The iPad Pro 12.9 that I'm using is a 5th generation iPad Pro. I got it a year or two ago, I think, maybe a couple years ago, and it has 512 gigabytes. The iPad Mini is the 6th. I believe that's the newest one that is released. It has 256 gigabytes on it. And then my iPad Pro 11-inch is a 4th generation iPad Pro, and it has 512 gigabytes on it. So usually they go by generations there, so maybe that'll help you identify. I will say just right off the bat that I do notice a difference when using my Pros and using my Mini. I love this Mini so much. I carry it around with me. I absolutely adore it, but I will say that loading stickers and loading things takes longer on my Mini, and I'm going to assume this is going to be the same across the Classic, and I'm not for sure about the iPad Air, but the Pros, the processing, they're Pros for a reason, and they process things a little bit faster, and I feel like things load a little bit faster. I think that if you are going to work at all on your iPad or editing, or if you think that you are going to be hugely into digital planning and you're going to have tons of stickers and you're just going to go all in, I would definitely suggest a Pro if you can swing the price. I think it's going to work faster for you. My GoodNotes is taking up 16.28 gigabytes on my iPad Pro. And I have quite a bit in here. I have quite a few planners in here because I have to display them. Now, I don't keep everything in here, but there are a ton of stickers, a ton of planners, and a ton of stuff inside my GoodNotes, and it just takes up 16 gigabytes. So I don't really think the storage is as much of an issue as like like your processor and like the RAM and that sort of thing, like how fast it can load things basically is what you're going to run in more issues with, especially if you shop here at Breezy Organization, because we're huge on compressing and making all of our stuff as tiny as it can be. But I would really think that you would be good with like the 256 models, because I don't think you're going to hit that over halfway with just digital planning. So if you're just mainly digital planning, I think that you could go with the lowest amount of gigabytes, unless you could just afford more. But I think where you're really going to notice a huge difference is the pros versus the regular. Now, I am hoping that they come out with a new iPad mini next year that has a better, like the M1 chip in it, or just the faster processors and stuff like the pros have, because I would use this mini a whole lot more if it would be a little bit faster. Sometimes on my sticker pages, it just takes a few extra seconds, which just seems annoying to me. But like I said, I do have a lot of stuff on here, and I'll show you in real time how long it actually takes. Okay, so I've just restarted all three of these. There's no extra apps running, and I've erased the GoodNotes trash. So you can kind of see on a level playing field how these work together. So we'll get into what planners and how they work on each screen, but now let's judge the speed of them first. So I've got my planner open on all three of these devices. They do sync very, very quickly. If you're wondering if you get multiple iOS devices or your phone or whatever, if you're using GoodNotes, they sync very quickly in my experience. Usually once I've done something on one, it'll automatically show up on the other one. I do need to update, I think, this one, because GoodNotes just came out with a new update. So I know that the syncing does stop if you're not updated to the most recent one. So you do need to make sure you're updated to the most recent GoodNotes on all of your devices. But as long as you're logged into the same iCloud, they're going to seamlessly sync. And that is one reason why I kind of stay with GoodNotes, because their syncing is really good. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to do split screen. So I am going to hit split screen on all of these. And then I'm just going to hit them pretty close to each other. So you can see those loaded pretty fast. Now, if we're wanting to view our stickers, let's load the notebook first and just kind of see. Let's load the notebook and see all of those are loading pretty fast. Let's hit a different month. So let's go back to November. So we're going to hit November, it's already changed. So, okay, so that all worked pretty fast. Okay, so let's get the stickers up, because that's really going to be our tell. Okay, we have all three of our stickers up and we're back in portrait. So let's click on October, because I don't have very many in the full screen yet. I'm still working on it. So let's hit October on all of these. So let's see if I can hit these at the same time. 1, 2, 3. So for a pretty full page, I mean, that's a lot of stickers. We really only recommend putting in like 21 stickers, and they're going to load a lot faster. That is a lot of stickers, and you saw what order they loaded in. So they all loaded actually pretty good that time, and maybe my devices just needed to be restarted, because sometimes this one just can be a lot more slower than what these two. I work on these two all the time, so I know how fast they are. And then sometimes when I'm out digital planning in this one, sometimes I get frustrated because I feel like it takes a little bit longer to load, and I think that's to do with that processing. So let's just try to do a couple of stickers and stuff on here, and let's see actually how long it takes, so you can kind of get a good idea. And then we'll talk about how these look on doing split screen, the different options that we have. Okay, so back to our cute little mini here. It is absolutely the cutest thing ever. I just wish that it had a little bit faster processing, but like I said, maybe my iPad just needed to be restarted. So let's just act like we're sitting down and we're going to plan out a page, and we're just going to use fall stickers. I do like how you can view the portrait sticker thing full screen here. You can see there's a little bit of black space on each side, but it's still pretty nice. You could definitely use it in portrait. You don't have as much room over here to plan, and I'll show you compared to the split screen here in just a moment. But say I'm wanting to plan on this, so I'm going to add some stickers over here. Let's say I'm planning something for the 14th. So we want to let's add this cover, because it's not super fallish. So we'll add the cover on here, and you can see that that worked really, really easy. Then we're going to grab this up here, and we're going to copy and paste right here, and then say we want to change this to say shopping weekend. Okay, so we're gonna put that. So that's how that looks. I mean, here's how big my hand is. So you can kind of see how big your sticker set is over here. I kind of like this on this split screen size because it actually will fill up that portion there for the portrait. So that's really nice. In this third section, that portrait sticker pal actually works quite nice with the mini because it makes the calendar. See, this is what we learn when we do this. When we do this stuff. I had never tried the portrait sticker thing because I assumed it would be way too big for the mini, and so here you go. That's a really good idea of what the portrait will look like next to your full size, portrait over here and doing split screen in that third section. I think I had opened it, but I'd only ever used it in split screen because I felt like that would be the only way, and I never did make it smaller, and it just made my calendar too small, so I didn't like that. But it actually fits very, very nicely over here in the mini. So that may be an option for those of you that are thinking about using the mini. Let's open the Blood Planner Pal in the split screen as well and see what that looks like. So you're seeing real time. This is what I get frustrated at because I don't feel like on my pros it takes near that long to load. Now, I know it's trying to load where I was at last in my Planner Pal, but I do feel like it takes extra seconds for the mini. But I mean, if you're okay with that, and it's not really a big deal, it doesn't really take that much longer. So you can see over here, if you've got your toolbar down, this fills up that whole space on the mini really, really nice. So if you're wanting to look up something, maybe a recipe, let's slide this over. So we can look at our recipes, see how fast they load. Here's a recipe. So it's actually loading pretty fast. Maybe when I was trying to do split screen, it was a little bit slower, but it's doing pretty decent right now. So if we go back, to organizer, this is something new that was just loaded. Yeah, it's running pretty good. So that is a look at the portrait to portrait. So your portrait pal with your portrait planner. We're gonna exit out of this, and then we're gonna hit our split screen and open it in a new window. And so this is how it fits on the mini. I like to blow up my calendar over here on this side so you can see the whole month. And then you can see the split screen has the black spots on each side. So I almost like the fit of the portrait better in the third screen whenever you're using the mini. So maybe that will help you guys decide if you guys use the mini more than your phone. I believe the split screen is going to fit best on your phone, but we can look at that here in just a minute as well. So that is what it looks like in the third screen over here with the split screen. Again, you can zoom in, but to me that takes away some of it. I like it to fill up the screen really, really nice. So that is a look at the mini. And then of course, if you're in full screen in any of our planners, like our portrait planner is going to look really, really nice. Let's go out. Let's hit our planner pal. It's taking a few seconds to load here. This is on the mini. Like I said, sometimes it just gets hung up there. And then if you click out of the edit mode and click anywhere on your screen, it will fill up the screen really, really nice. So you can have a full screen viewing there if you're just wanting to use some of the links. If you're just wanting to use some of the links, all of that will stay in place. And then you can just simply look at your iPad just in viewing mode, and it'll fill up the whole screen, which is really nice. I really like the way that looks. So if you're using landscape, this is how it's going to fit on the mini. So if you click anywhere, it'll fill up the whole screen really, really nice, and you can use any of the linking in the presentation mode. And then anytime you are editing, it will fill up the screen, but you have to go up and down, or you can make it a little smaller and you'll have black on the side. So just depending on how you like to view your planner, but it looks really, really nice on the mini. So that is a rundown of how everything looks on the mini. Sometimes it takes it just a couple of seconds to load, but other than that, pretty good. I'm actually really impressed with how the sizes worked here on the mini. So that's the mini. Now let's look at the iPad 11-inch. All of these planners are really going to work pretty well. You get very little black spacing over here on the side. If you click anywhere here in the middle, it's going to fill up the entire screen very, very nicely. We already looked at how fast it was at loading. Let's check out a couple of planners here. This is what the portrait planners look like on here. Very, very nice. Then here's what the landscape planner looks like. So you get just a little bit of black over here. Click on edit. That's what it looks like. And then if you click all the way off and have it fill the whole screen, looks very, very nice. Now let's try some of the split screen versions here. So if I am wanting to use, that's one thing we did not check out was split screen using a landscape planner. So we can go back and do that. But if you're using a portrait and a landscape, I really don't think it's going to work very well. So your landscape's going to have a lot of black and it's going to almost fill up over here. And then if you make it any smaller, you're going to have black on top and bottom and on top and bottom here. I probably wouldn't use a portrait with a landscape. That's just my opinion. If the black doesn't bother you, that is totally up to you. It's definitely going to work. I'm just trying to show you proportions and what it's going to look like. There's a little bit of black on each side in this one, but it works a lot better than the mini. And then here's it with the landscape. So I always just zoom in on my planners for just the days here. And then I like to plan back and forth and then open my stickers over here and then I can use them back and forth. I have planned a lot on the iPad 11-inch Pro here. And I really, really like using this size. Now let's see what it looks like with portrait right next to each other. So let's open the portrait planner in a new screen. Okay, so here we have the portrait planner and then the portrait pal, and it's the sticker pal. So that's what this looks like. I think this fills up the screen really nice. I think you get a good viewing of each side. If you want to put it in that third screen, you're just going to have black on the top and bottom there. I really like this size for portability. If you just want to have one and you don't want to have the Pro for at home and a mini to go, I really like the Pro size, the 11-inch Pro size. And now we have the 12.9. So this has been my main device for several years now. This is the one that I work on, that I plan on, and I definitely love the 12.9 inch. It is a beast to carry around everywhere. It is really large. So in my opinion, I just like having this one at home. I don't really like taking it. I found that I have dropped this one more because of its size. Like whenever I'm carrying stuff out to the car, because I have taken this out and it does have a little bit of a beating in the couple of the corners because I have dropped this one. And the mini and the other iPad 11-inch is just a lot more manageable, especially when you're carrying a lot of stuff. It's going to fit in more purses. But like I said, this has been my main planning device for years now. So and then with work, obviously, if you're doing a lot of stuff and you want that bigger screen to do multiple screens and stuff, definitely. If you're using this for even more, work, editing, that kind of thing, I definitely would go with the Pro 12.9, no questions asked. So here's what the portrait looks like. You do have a little bit of black on each side. If you click the middle, it will fill up the whole screen really, really nice. You can click this, and this is what the edit bar looks like. So you get a little bit more black because GoodNotes had changed. With GoodNotes 6, they changed and added an extra bar down here. It made it thicker up here, so it made the lines a little bit bigger on the side here, but this is what it looks like. Still very, very pretty. And then after I'm done editing, I always click off that anyways, and it gives it a nice full look. And like I said, if you're just viewing your planner, I love to put it in full screen. It just looks beautiful, just all the way edge to edge, and it really looks beautiful on whatever size device that you have. You can do edge to edge on any of these, and you get a little bit of black up here in the top and the bottom with the mini, but it fills up the Pro 11-inch very nicely, and it fills up the 12.9 very, very nicely. This is where the dream split screen comes into play, because when you have a portrait sticker pal and a portrait planner, this is the dream right here. It fits perfect. It is lovely. It just works. It fits very, very nicely. And if you hit the edit, you still get almost full screen, just like you had before. And then any of these that you click on, it is just very easy to see all of your options and your whole page over here. It just fills up nicely and you don't have to zoom in or anything. So this is what the 12.9 looks like. So here's what it looks like with the landscape planner and a portrait pal. And then if you want to make it into that third section, you're going to have quite a bit of black on top and bottom. So I probably wouldn't use a portrait pal in the third section over here, although your landscape is big enough to be viewable and to work on, definitely. So let's look at the split screen. Okay, so now using our split screen over here, it fills this up because it was made for the 12.9, that third, not half, but the third section over here, that's actually what it's made for. So it fits in this third screen absolutely perfectly, and you still have very good real estate to use your landscape. So I really like the looks of that, using your stickers and everything. It works really, really well. You can use your portrait planner next to a split screen as well, because I like to make that part really, really big so I can see what I'm working on. I do this a lot because it doesn't go this way. You have to go this way. But once I get this part decorated and I'm actually working on putting the information in, I really love how big of an area this is to drag and drop my stickers. I feel like I can just see everything really well. So that is with the 12.9. I think I viewed everything in just about every way possible so you can kind of see the differences between all of the sizes. Now, let me briefly show you what some of these look like on the phone so you can see sizes for it. And then that is going to be your size comparison between these three devices, which is going to cover almost all of your different sizes that you can work with here with digital planning. Okay, and then this is viewing my good notes on my phone. So you can see here how you've got the top and the bottom, but if you hit the edit button, it's going to fill in a little bit more of that space. So it's actually pretty good size, just a normal portrait planner for the phone. This is what the Planner Plus split screen looks like here. You can click on stickers and everything loads pretty decently on the phone. You can see you just got a few edges here, but anytime you're wanting to do any editing, you have to click this button down here. And then it makes it smaller on the sides because the more bars that have to drop down up here is going to make it smaller on the side. But it's still a really good size. And then say I'm going to go to recipes and slide this over. You can see everything loads pretty nicely on this and exactly what that looks like. And then you can go back to Planner Pal. And then here's how the landscape looks. Obviously, I would turn this one sideways, but then it's still not going to fill up a whole lot of the screen there. So you could always zoom in and just try to look at maybe half of it up here at the top. But that is what the landscape is going to look like on your phone. So that is a look at all three of these different sizes and the phone to kind of give you guys a good idea of what may work best for you guys, especially if anybody is getting these for Christmas. Maybe that will help you decide on which size you need and what's going to work best for you. Thank you so much for watching here today. If you like Breezy O products, definitely shop us in the links down below. We are on Instagram. We have tons of videos here on YouTube, and we have a thriving Facebook group called Breezy O Family. We'd love to see you over there if you'd like to see how all of our customers use all of our Breezy O products. Thanks for joining us today, and I'll catch you on the next one. Until then, happy planning.